Have you ever felt trapped in an endless cycle of problems attracting exactly what you most want to avoid? It seems that no matter how hard you try, life keeps pushing you onto paths you don't desire. And what if I told you that the biggest villain in this story isn't bad luck, destiny, or karma, but something much closer, something inside you? Yes, your own brain is creating what you don't want, and most people have no idea how this happens. But get ready, because in this video, I will give you the key to unravel this mystery. You will discover exactly how and why your mind is sabotaging your greatest desires. And most importantly, I will show you the definitive path to rewrite your reality from now on. No more attracting the unwanted. It's time for you to take total control of your life and manifest everything you've always dreamed of. Since childhood, we've been taught to think of time as a straight line. Yesterday is behind us, tomorrow still far off, and now just a passing point. But this is an illusion, a mental construct. Seth, one of the deepest mentors on the nature of consciousness, teaches that time is not linear. Past, present, and future coexist simultaneously like overlapping layers of the same vibrational existence. What we call now isn't merely a pause between what has been and what will come. It's the only real point, where creation happens. It's here that everything is decided. It's here everything begins. Imagine your life is like a radio station. All songs are available, but you only hear the one tuned in now. Time works the same way. Each moment you live connects to infinite possibilities already existing, waiting for your attention. When you access a memory, you're not merely remembering, you're energetically touching a parallel reality. And when you project the future with emotion, you're beginning to create that scenario. Seth affirms that consciousness isn't bound by the clock it dances between times. And what determines which time you experience is the vibration of your now. This changes everything, because it means you aren't trapped by the past you lived or the story you were told. If all exists at once, then everything can be accessed, altered, redefined. How many times have you caught yourself stuck in thoughts like, I am this way because that happened to me? And what if you could revisit that same moment with new consciousness? What if you could rewrite it energetically? Seth invites us to understand that each instant is malleable, and matter, even the body, responds to the vibrational time you choose to inhabit. Science is beginning to approach this idea. Quantum physics already debates time as a relative dimension where the observer influences reality. Some studies speak of temporal entanglement, others of quantum simultaneity. But Seth taught this back in the 60s with a spiritual, accessible language. He explained that the soul doesn't live in chronological time. It lives in a probability field where all already is. This isn't empty philosophy. It's a call to awaken, to realize you're not at the mercy of fate, but at the center of a creative field where time merely reflects your consciousness. Now tell me, if everything happens at once, why are you still waiting for the right moment to change? Why do you keep postponing conversations, decisions, healings? Now is the only real crack where the miracle slips in. It's the only dimension where the soul acts with total freedom. What seemed distant may be one thought away. What seemed immutable can dissolve in seconds. But for that, you must be present, not just in body, but in soul. Because it's in the now that true alchemy begins, and when you grasp this power, time stops imprisoning you and starts serving you. The point of power is in the present, and it's not a pretty metaphor for a motivational post. It's an energetic, spiritual, vibrational fact. It's the only real door of change you have. It doesn't matter what happened to you in the past or what you fear will come in the future. Everything you can access, alter, transform, or heal happens in the now. It's here, in this moment, that you're creating. It's here you can change the direction of your life. And once you truly understand this, your relationship with time, with the body, with reality itself, changes irreversibly. Seth, whose teachings reveal the vibrational structure of existence, says that now is the convergence point of all probability. It's like the center of an infinite fan of versions of yourself. Everything you could be already exists in potential. And you access these versions not by physical effort or chasing the future, but by frequency. A frequency born from how you feel and think right now. The point of power isn't symbolic. It's where you activate new realities, rewrite your story, and alter the root of your destiny. And this happens every second with every beat of your heart. Your thoughts, emotions, beliefs in this very moment are creating your future. And here, in this moment, in this second, you can change everything. Think of it this way. If you're in a boat and want to change direction, you need to act in the exact place where you are not in the place you've passed or where you think you'll arrive. If you try to change the past, you get lost. If you wait for the future to resolve, you paralyze. But if you understand the helm is in your hand now, everything changes. You no longer need to wait for a Monday, or a new month, or a sign from the universe. The sign is now. It's this video. It's here that cells respond, fields adjust, consciousness emits new vibration. Now is your only real chance. It always has been. It always will be. That's why every spiritual technique, every practice of consciousness expansion, every philosophy worth its salt brings you back to presence. Because only in presence do you access the field of creation. Techniques like vibrational affirmation, belief reprogramming, active visualization, intention, writing all work not because they're magic, but because they anchor you at the point of power. They break the automatic cycle and bring you back to the only place where real change can occur. And it's exactly why so many people jump from content to content without transforming anything. They consume information about past and future, but don't inhabit the present. So the question you need to ask yourself isn't, what do I need to do tomorrow? Or, why did that happen to me? The real question is, what am I choosing now? Who am I becoming now? Because it's the vibrational answer to that question that will decide everything that follows. The point of power is in the present, and whoever understands this stops postponing, stops repeating, and finally begins to co-create. And if all this still seems too big, wait until you realize what's happening even when you're not conscious of it. You're creating your reality all the time. Not only when you perform a ritual, a prayer or light incense, not only when you write an intention in a notebook. You're creating when you complain, when you feel fear, when you get distracted, and also when you love, when you give thanks, when you believe. Seth teaches that the physical universe is shaped by the vibrational field you emit, whether you're aware of it or not. This means you are the artist of your own life. Yet many paint shadowy pictures. Without noticing, the brush is in their own hand. It's not bad luck, it's unconscious creation. Your body, your finances, your relationships, your pains, desires. All of it is in constant dialogue with your most repeated emotions and beliefs. It's as if the universe were a mirror, accurately reflecting what you sustain inside. When you believe the world is dangerous, it seems more hostile. When you believe you're rejected, you attract situations that confirm that. And worst of all, you make it seem like coincidence, but it isn't. Seth makes it clear. Everything that happens outside is an energetic expression of what's inside. If you change the vibration, the reflection changes too. That's why it's so important to notice what's being created automatically. Often without realizing it, you repeat the same emotional patterns day after day: anxiety, guilt, scarcity, fear, comparison. And these emotions form a vibrational signature that builds compatible realities. It's like tuning a radio. If you vibrate scarcity, you hear the station of lack. If you vibrate abundance, you hear the frequency of flow. And you can't wait for calm to come to change. True creation happens when you choose a new frequency, even in the midst of chaos. Want a practical example? If you wake up every day feeling life is running over you, you're already shaping your day before you even get out of bed. But if upon opening your eyes, you place your hand on your heart, take a deep breath, and choose 3 thoughts of gratitude, the field already begins to reorganize. Small rituals like this have enormous impact because they reprogram your starting point. Do it morning after morning, and believe me, your starting point completely alters the path. Seth insists you create reality all the time, so why not do it with more presence, intention, consciousness? It's not about controlling everything, it's about learning to observe what you're feeding with your thoughts and feeling, because that's what's creating the invisible structure where your life unfolds. The unconscious creator reacts, repeats, suffers, and blames the world. The conscious creator breathes, chooses thoughts, transforms, and takes authorship. And it's at that point that real magic begins to happen. Because if you're creating all the time, then the next step isn't waiting for something outside. It's looking within. And perhaps by doing that, you'll start to realize even your past can be changed when vibration shifts here and now. One of Seth's most liberating ideas, one few dare to face, is that the past isn't fixed. It sounds strange, doesn't it? After all, we've been taught since childhood that the past is done and can't be changed. But that's only an illusion born of linear time perception. Seth explains that the past remains alive as a vibrational field and can be reinterpreted, re-edited, energetically redefined. It's not that the event itself erases, but the energy you hold around it can change completely. And when that happens, its effects on your life also change. How many times have you caught yourself repeating phrases like, "I am this way because that happened to me," or "After that trauma, I was never the same"? Such affirmations keep the past on loop as if it's still happening now. But what if instead of repeating, you revisited that moment with different consciousness? Seth invites us to use now as a point of energetic transformation. Because it's in the present you access new interpretation. You can view that episode with a victim's gaze, or with liberation's gaze. That choice changes everything, because it changes your frequency. And frequency moves realities. Let's get practical. Imagine you grew up hearing you'd never be enough. That belief was planted in the past, but remains alive in you now. The good news is, it only stays alive because you still feed it. From the moment you recognize it and choose a new narrative, the field begins to shift. You can write unsent letters, visualize that wounded version of you being embraced, and use affirmations that restore power to your inner voice, such as "I am sufficient," "I am loved," "I need not prove myself to anyone." This exercise activates the emotional field where the belief was formed and plants new vibration. But it doesn't stop there. It also activates brain plasticity, its ability to reorganize, reconnect, and remodel based on internal experience. Here's a precious bridge between science and what Seth taught decades ago. Dr. Joe Dispenza, a renowned neuroscientist of the quantum mind, shows that when you repeatedly imagine new images and emotions with intensity and intention, your brain begins to dissolve old circuits and form new pathways, meaning the neural networks tied to pain, criticism, childhood fear weaken while new connections based on love, safety, self-worth strengthen. In other words, the reprogramming isn't only happening in the subtle field, it's happening physically inside your mind. The body also responds. The heart's electromagnetic field shifts, hormone levels adjust. And if this practice becomes constant, it creates a new internal pattern, a new normal. Gradually, your emotional system, your mind, your energetic field come to recognize this new truth as real. And here's the most beautiful point. The brain cannot distinguish between a memory of what you lived and an experience vividly imagined, so you can heal a painful past by creating a new emotional experience in the now. The body accepts it, the brain rewrites it, vibration changes, and the world responds. Want to intensify this process? Use writing as a second layer of programming. Write daily as if the new version of you is already alive. Not as a wish, but as a declaration. For example, "Today, I feel secure in being myself. I trust my intuition. I take pride in listening to myself." Such emotionally charged writing, anchored in the present, communicates to the subconscious that this is the new foundation of your identity. Seth teaches that belief sustains physical reality, And neuroscience confirms the thought sustained with emotion shapes the brain, and the brain, when aligned with the field, changes everything. This kind of work demands presence, constancy, emotional engagement, but the payoff is immense. It's like turning the key in your own script. Don't expect the past to vanish, but allow it to gain new meaning, and that new meaning will be felt in your body, thoughts, relationships, choices. The transformation won't be merely subtle. It will be visible, tangible, and will echo around you. Because when vibration shifts inside, the destiny you once knew begins to be consciously authored. And this isn't magic or shallow positive thinking. Seth teaches that now is a field of vibrational action, a place where the entire universe responds to your intention with surgical precision. Yet that field doesn't react to what you want in words. It reacts to what you vibrate with presence. So the first step in deliberate creation is becoming intimate with now. Being here, feeling, observing, choosing. Because only those present can alter the frequency they emit. One of the most powerful paths to this is conscious vibrational affirmation. It's not enough to repeat words mechanically. You must generate emotion as you declare. For example, don't just say, "I am prosperous." Say it while visualizing specific scenes. Feel the gratitude for them as if they were real. Breathe deeply and move with emotion in that scene. Seth affirms that emotionalized imagination is a real mechanism of energetic creation. Your subconscious takes emotion as truth, and the field reacts to your vibration, not your desire. So create rich internal images. Feel as if you're living them and remain in that frequency for a few moments each day. Another simple yet incredibly effective resource is using attention as a magic tool. Where your attention goes, your energy goes, and where your energy goes, reality grows. If you start the day focusing on lack, debt, difficulty, you're feeding exactly what you want to change. Seth guides you to redirect attention consciously. Use visual reminders at home, phrases on the mirror, alarms, with affirmations on your phone, anything that brings you back to the point of power. Whenever you catch your mind drifting to fear or doubt, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what am I creating at this very moment with this thought? Then choose another image or thought. This small shift changes your field. A daily practice extremely powerful is the so-called intentional creation moment. Choose a time each day. Sit in silence, close your eyes, and declare, "In this moment, I am co-creating a new reality." Then visualize as if you're inside it. Imagine the smells, light, touch, texture, sounds of the environment. See the people, feel the emotions, stay there for a few moments, then open your eyes and act in the world with that frequency. This practice doesn't replace external action. It prepares the energetic ground where action flourishes with real power. Finally, use now as your correction. Whenever you feel you've fallen into autopilot, pause and ask yourself, what am I creating with this emotion? If the answer is something you don't want, change it. Seth reminds us every instant is a chance to restart the timeline, so you don't need to wait for Monday next month, next phase of life. Now is already loaded with possibilities, and you only need to position yourself. Because creation isn't a tool you use occasionally, it's what you do all the time. And the more aware you are of that, the more deliberate will be the reality you live from today on. You no longer need to seek outside what only can be activated from within. The point of power was never in the past, nor in the promise of the future. It's here now, and within this now, you are the creator of your reality. This isn't exaggeration or optimism. It's a vibrational law of existence. Every thought you feed, every emotion you sustain, every mental image you repeat, weaves the invisible fabric of your life. The universe doesn't react to words. It responds to the coherence between what you feel, believe, and choose each day. For a long time, you were conditioned to believe you were a victim of external forces, that you needed luck, permission, someone more prepared to change your life. But the truth is, no one creates your reality but you. What you see, live, attract all springs from the field you carry inside. And this isn't a reason for guilt, it's liberation. Because if you created something you didn't like, you can also create something that will surprise you. There is no immutable karma, no destiny written in stone. There is consciousness, and consciousness is plastic living, moldable, just like your future. The truth is, you are creating your future now. You always have been and always will be. No matter where you are at this moment or how you arrived here, what matters is what you choose to feel now, because it's that choice that changes everything. Don't wait for a sign. You are the sign. Don't wait for life to change so you can feel good. Instead, feel good now, and life will change. That is true magic and the most potent freedom you can know. So there's nothing left to wait for. The knowledge is here, the practice is in your hand, and the field is ready to respond. Now you know the point of power is in the present, and it's there. Everything begins. So feel it in your chest. Breathe with intention. Choose with awareness. The world you want to live in already exists, waiting for you to tune into the same frequency. And perhaps, just perhaps, the question that remains now is, what will you choose to create in this very moment? Tell me in the comments which thought or belief you will reprogram starting today. Write it down. Commit. This simple act already shifts your frequency. And if this video lit a spark within, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell and share with someone who needs to hear this. Because what we're doing here isn't just content. It's living consciousness in motion, and you're part of it.